I'm sorry.
Ramirez.
Yes, ma'am. And that's Peña Ramirez on page 17. We're going that one first. I thought you were asking me about the witness.
Mhm.
And let Walter in, Judge.
All right, good afternoon. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for February 3rd, 2026. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all directives regarding remote proceedings. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. I'll go ahead and call the first case. This is 2024 0D0 6430 Texas versus Jose Alvaro Peña Ramirez. May I have announcements, please?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jose Garcia for the state, present and ready.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Omar Carmona on behalf of Jose Alvaro Peña Ramirez. Ready, Your Honor.
For purposes of the record, the defendant is appearing remotely from the jail annex. Let me see. The motion for reducing bond, fourth motion. Do we also have, hold on a second. This is 6430. And we also have 2025 0D04751. All right. Mr. Carmona, you may proceed.
Your Honor, would you want me to again get into the same testimony I already got into with regard to Mr. Peña's living arrangements? Because nothing has changed as far as his living arrangements or his potential place of employment. And
so why don't you refresh my memory? Because I've gone through about 1,000 pages of PSRs before I logged in early. So indulge me, please, Mr. Carmona.
Well, Your Honor, my client had been in custody on the first cause number on a family violence case, and while he was in custody, then indictments came out. Now, obviously, we believe that there's reasons behind that. Now, I don't know what the state's planning on doing, if they're still planning on going forward with the sexual assault. But these are things that my client is adamantly denying, Your Honor. And we found it was very again, I'm not saying anything, any alleging anything that the state is doing wrong, but I'm saying giving the accusations and the timing of the accusations by the complaining witness, things just seem suspect to me, Your Honor. And so we're asking this court to consider Mr. Peña Ramirez has a jury trial set for May the 1st. And Your Honor, my client, he can, if the bonds are to be set at a reasonable amount at 10,000 with strict PR conditions, my client would be willing to do that, Your Honor.
So what's up, Ms. Lujan? I have the total, but what are the splits? So 6430, and we've heard this one before. Well, let me hear from Mr. Garcia.
Judge, briefly, so the state's position is we are moving forward in all the cases. We did receive a call this morning from the complaining witness, Ms. Priscilla Irene Garcia. She's stating that she is very concerned if the defendant's release, if his bond is reduced. She is in fear for her life and the life of her children. She is advising that the defendant has made threats not only to her but to her children as well. And so, Judge, we would advise the court, or we would ask the court to not reduce his bond at this time, Your Honor.
Let's see, Miss Lujan, what is the split on the bonds, or Mr. Carmona, if you know him?
Judge, so the split on 6430 is 75,000 cash surety and 25,000 PR.
Okay.
And then on 4751, it's 75,000 cash surety and 75,000 PR.
Yeah. Yeah, so the conditions would include right on the PR end, all the no contact, all of those things. We're not talking about anything like that, right, Mr. Garcia? We don't have anything with respect to contact or anything like that?
Well, we would request no contact with the complaining witness or her family, Judge.
The conditions are there. I'm just asking, do we have any concerns outside of that?
No, Judge.
Yeah. So no, Mr. Carmona, do you have anything else?
Nothing further. It was basically the same testimony from the last bond hearing, Your Honor.
Okay. Happy to hear if you have anything in addition to that. Other than that, I don't think the court's position has changed. The request to reduce bond is respectfully denied in each case.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Garcia,
Yes.
can you call, can we talk maybe after your docket if you have time, or maybe sometime this week?
Sure, we can. Yes, sir.
All right, give me a call when you can.
Thank you for your time. Who's
Thank
next,
you.
Mr. Nunez?
Judge, on page 18, we have Mr. Olivas for Bruno Pereira. Annex, could we get Pereira, please?
Where's Mr. Olivas?
Hi,
Hi,
Judge.
Mr. Olivas.
Taking
You
up
wanna
the
be you
bailiff's
wanna be
office.
the bailiff today?
I heard
the
that pays
bit-
pretty well.
It's a busy docket.
He says he makes a ton of money, Judge, so yeah, I might take it.
What did you say? Calamari? What?
No, he makes a ton of money.
Oh.
I heard calamari too.
All right, Mr. Pereira. You know what? I didn't write down his bond amount, but I did review his
I
case.
believe it's 1,500, Judge.
1,500.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. How are we on the? Is he at the annex? There he is. Okay.
Pasillas, Angel, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
Pasillas, Angel.
Angel Pasillas. No, I think we're asking for
Bruno Pereira.
Bruno Pereira.
Yeah.
Pereira, Bruno. I mean, Margarita.
Oh, maybe Zoom is messing with the audio, talking about calamari.
You're making me hungry, Judge.
Sorry. Well, yeah, well, I won't say anything. We're on YouTube. A ver. All right.
Hello, Judge.
Thank you, Annex. Is this Mr. Pereira?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Calling cause number 2025 0D07714, State of Texas versus Bruno Pereira. May I have announcements, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Jose Garcia for the state, present and ready.
Good afternoon, Judge. Jesus Olivas on behalf of Mr. Pereira. We are ready as well.
And the defendant is appearing remotely from the jail annex. We are scheduled for a bond hearing. I think I heard his bond is $1,500 cash surety. Maybe there's some.
It's 100,000 cash surety, Judge.
Oh,
100,000. Why did I have 1,500? So he was on some bond. It may have been cash surety or maybe even a straight PR on the injury to a child. And then I think he picked up the violation of protective order, right? That's why he's at 100. Yes, you may proceed, Mr. Olivas.
thank you, Judge. Judge, Mr. Pereira is a man of 44 years of age. He just turned 44 while in jail. He is a U.S. citizen. He's been in jail since November the 6th of last year. There are some 1622 issues. He's got no money to speak of it as he is unemployed. I spoke to the CW, his father, and they're willing to, actually, he gave me a non-pros. The only thing is they do not want him, if he gets released, to be living at 3891 Judy Marie Lane, which is here in El Paso where the parents live. So if he can find somewhere else to stay, they're happy with that. Let's see. And due to his financial situation and his inability to maintain work, Judge, we respectfully requested a PR bond on this case.
Okay, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Judge. If I could just ask Mr. Olivas just one question. When did you get that non-pros, or when did you speak to them? Because I have a note from the complaining witness from January 26th, and it's a completely different story what I'm hearing.
I spoke to them about a week and a half ago. Here's a copy of the non-pros.
Okay, because I got a call from them on the 26th of this year, of January, stating that the defendant was threatening them, and that, in fact, they did sign a non-pros. Okay, there it is. That they did sign a non-pros, but it's only because he's harassing them to sign it. So that's why they signed the non-pros.
So let me just hear anything else you have on the bond, because I think I did review, I reviewed his PSR. I reviewed kind of the overall, the injury to the elderly, and then the circumstances on the VPO. I really, my biggest concern right now was the mental health status of your client, Mr. Olivas,
The
because
six,
some
the
of the
1622
reporting,
indicates some sort of anxiety, Judge.
oh, so are you appointed on the, or were you retained on the misdemeanor?
I'm appointed, Your Honor.
Yeah, on, if I'm not mistaken, there, it may be much more serious than that on the mental health end. And so, I don't know if he's receiving treatment. The bond is 100,000. I'll reduce it, to, I don't know, probably something like 40,000 with conditions. There is a real concern about the complainant's safety and some of the circumstances that led to the VPO, which of course are a violation of his conditions. The conditions, if I'm not mistaken, I had so many bond hearings to review. I didn't make enough notes, but I think the protective order is active until 2027. And so every condition of the protective order will be a part of his bond conditions. But I think we really may need to look at competency.
Okay.
Okay.
I will
So
go
for
talk to the judge
now,
then.
that's going to be the bond order. So all conditions that are part of the protective order, whether it's active or not, and those are to include no contact with the complainant on 7714. No, not within any 200 yards of the residence there. No offensive contact with, I believe it's grandmother.
So we're
Not
both
sure if
with
it's
mom and dad.
mother or okay, it's mom and dad. So it's mom, so no offensive contact with mom. I think dad is the subject of the protective order. Report once a month, commit no new offenses, and comply with mental health treatment. I think there was an indication that he was undergoing treatment or he was on some kind of mental health track or treatment plan. And I don't know if that was working or not. So that's the order. And that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Thank you. You may have a good day.
You too. Take care. Thank you. Thanks.
Who else is ready?
Judge, on page 18, we have Mr. Avalar for Vicente Ramirez downtown. Are you there? Downtown?
Yes, sir, we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, calling cause number 2025-0D03950, State of Texas versus Vincent Ramirez. May I have announcements, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Jose Garcia for the state, present and ready.
And Your Honor, Daniel Avalar for Vincent Ramirez. Judge, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We are set for a bond hearing. Mr. Ramirez is appearing from the downtown jail. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge, and good afternoon again. Your Honor, this is Vincent Ramirez, Your Honor. He is detained on 2 counts of an enhanced AFV, Judge. The enhancement was on a prior from 2009 that was deferred. And then he picked up this one, Judge. The complainants are, I believe, it's a sibling and like an aunt or somebody like that, Your Honor. We have so far one signed non-pros from one of the complainants, and we're led to believe, thank you. Thank you. We are led to believe that we will get the other non-pros very, very soon, Judge. And it sounds like it's one of those, when I read the affidavit, it sounds like one of those those family arguments gone wrong, Your Honor, at some family get together, Your Honor. It wasn't like at a bar or, something like that, Judge.
I'm not sure if that's exactly what it says.
Yeah, Judge, did I read the complaint wrong? It was at grandma's house. But in any event, yeah, there was no weapon. The accusation is his fist, Judge. By way of background, Your Honor, although he was born in California, he has spent most of his life here in El Paso, Judge, where he graduated high school. He works here, Your Honor. Most, if not all, of his family is here in El Paso, Judge. He's not on probation or anything like that, Your Honor. He's been in custody since I think like the 15th of January.
Mhm.
So yeah, Judge, we're asking for a reduction, although I'm not sure what the bond, hundred
I
thousand
think I
dollars.
have him at 100,000. So, again, I should have taken better notes when I was reviewing all of these.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
I'm not mistaken, there's some allegation of drug use, and he's going over to the house and he's asking a family member for money. He gets mad, allegedly, and then the other family member gets involved. Is this the one where they describe some like squirming like a snake? I'm not.
There's
Yes,
an
Judge.
This is it.
yeah,
Okay.
there's an alleged request for money.
Yeah. Okay. Let me hear Mr. Garcia, unless you have something else, Mr. Avelar.
No, nothing further. Sorry, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Judge. Well, aside from the allegation that there's maybe a drug issue, I think there's also a mental health issue concern here in this case, Judge. Also, Mr. Ramirez does have does have quite history, all family violence related.
Mhm.
There are multiple cases, including resisting arrest, violation of protective order, assaults. I don't know what the current bond is set. It's 100,000, right? You
He's
said
at 100,000, so that tells me it's some kind of PR revo, but I don't recall when I reviewed his case what it was. You
Okay, let
know,
me see if I find why.
do we have a new case?
No, Judge. It's just these two counts pending.
The
I don't see a new
100,000,
case.
Judge, it's from the judgment night side, the warrant.
See.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's right.
So I'm sorry. Why is there 100,000?
Because it was an AOI.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So where are you on the bond, Mr. Garcia?
Well, Judge, obviously the state would be opposed to any PR bond. Of course, there was because of the warrant issue, but 100,000 may seem excessive.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not. I mean, I would suggest a $50,000 bond, Judge.
Oh, Mr. Avelar, are you all appointed on? No. You guys subbed in on this one, ¿verdad?
We're
Ms.
retained.
Vergara had this, and then you all subbed in.
Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am. Can you come up with it?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to grant the request to reduce bond. It is going to be a $25,000 cash surety bond. He is to have no contact with the complainants, not be within 200 yards of the residence. He is to be reporting once a month in person, subject to testing, news, no illegal drug or alcohol. If he is being treated for any mental health concerns in the jail, then he is to continue with some type of mental health treatment, commit no new offenses. Curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. No new offense, obviously, appear for court. Anything else?
No, we just appreciate it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you very much. Did I say no offensive or no contact with the complainants?
You said no contact, Judge.
Okay, no contact. Okay.
Okay.
Who's next?
Judge, Mr. Avelar, also on page 19, has Joshua Theocrates.
Eucarides.
This one's a taller order, Judge.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Annex, are you there?
Yes, it's coming up.
Thank you.
What? Is it the funding?
I didn't write the bond though. I was so many. It was so many that I did some notes here, some notes there, and so I have Mr. Theo. I think we were here on his probation case last week.
That sounds right, Judge.
We just, said, no, we got to get the new case. And now we have the new case.
Have the new case.
And so there's Mr. Theocarides. This is cause number 2026-0D00022. Do we want to talk, Mr. Avelar, about the probation case? He's at a no bond on the probation case.
Sure, although it's an entirely different type of a case, but sure, yes, ma'am.
So that is 2020-0D03367. Each case styled the state of Texas versus Joshua Theocarides. May I have announcements, please?
Okay, how has he been doing?
Jose Garcia for the state, present and ready.
Your Honor, Daniel Avalar for the defense.
And let me just double check because Ms. Lujan, you're sending me these bond amounts and thank you for doing that. But I thought, yes, downtown can be excused. On the 2026 case, I thought it was 15,000 cash surety per count,
Oh, per
Let
count.
me double check, Judge.
Good.
but I could be wrong.
That's 4 counts, 15 times 4.
I didn't verify when I was looking at the documents, like I didn't cross-check to see every bond order
And-
that Judge Rodriguez
and-
did.
And then that last count, Judge, count 5, 6,
oh,
7.
Yes, Judge, it's 15,000 for the 3 counts. It's,
So
it
the
should be
three
just 3
ag
counts.
assault counts, and then what about the unlawful carrying of a weapon?
I don't see a bond for that one.
And Judge, this might be a clerical error. When I'm reading the body of the indictments, I'm reading 4 different alleged victims, which would make the counts revert. It reads as though it's 6 counts.
So I do see 6 ag assault counts.
Right. When it's true, I believe 4, unless there's something we should know. Then the 5th count would be the UCW by a felon.
So I'm gonna see if
Enunciate or something?
no, I'm not sure. I thought it was 3. I thought it was 3 complainants, and I didn't go through and cross-check on the indictment. So maybe you can address that, Mr. Garcia, when we look at the. For now, let
It's
me.
C6, Judge.
There's 6 total counts.
There's 6 complaining witnesses, Judge.
6 complaining witnesses?
Yes. So 2 were struck allegedly with the weapon, and the other 4, the weapon was aimed at them.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
I'm reading the indictments, Judge. I think he's right.
Okay, let me count them up. I didn't cross-check. I just thought it was 3 counts. My apologies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 6 ag assaults. So
Right.
if Ms. Lujan, if you'll just double check on those to see if each ag assault had a $15,000 bond or what the bonds are. And then
Okay, Judge.
you're telling me you don't see a bond on the unlawful carrying, is that right?
Yes, Judge, I don't see a bond for unlawful carry.
Oh, that's odd. Okay. Well, while we're looking into that, let me hear some argument, Mr. Avalar.
I'm going to do my best, Judge. He's on probation for a driving while intoxicated with a child under 15, Your Honor, out of your court.
Yeah, I do remember that one, and that was a dismissal of an intox serious bodily injury.
I saw that, Judge, and it's to the tune of 5 years. Other than that, it doesn't look like he has much by way of
Well,
history.
not here. We can talk about California
Oh,
because I got a 17-page rap. But let me hear you.
so Judge, if released, obviously he'd stay in El Paso. I do recognize that he might have somewhat of a flight risk, but he's been, it appears, reporting to your court or at least to your probation officer since 2022, probably pre-trial before then, Your Honor. This involves a co-defendant as well, Judge. I don't know much about the co-defendant. My focus was on Joshua here today, Your Honor. I realize the allegations are stiff, Judge, but we are asking for a reduction in the bond so he can come out and make right by his probation, and then we can fight this from the outside looking in, Judge.
See, this is what throws me off a little bit. I was going by the jailing, and I'm just going back to the bond amounts. I'm going by the jailing, and the jailing reflects, I mean, other than the no bond on the probation case, the jailing reflects a total bond of 45,000. And when I saw the bond orders, it said 15,000. So I'm a little concerned we don't have him booked like on all the counts because he is only at 15,000 for 3 counts. Right?
Yes, Judge, only for 3 counts.
And it was indicted now with 6 counts of ag assault deadly weapon.
It's a legit order. He could have just.
So I don't know where the disconnect is there on the jailing. Like he hasn't been booked on the other 3 counts, or what is it?
I'm trying to see, Judge.
So let me go into the bond orders. And then she's right. There, he's not booked on the unlawful carrying. I'm sorry.
That seventh count, right, Judge?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very strange.
So not booked on at least 3 counts.
Of ag assault and then 1 count on the unlawful carrying. Let me go through the bond orders because I just saw 15,000. I thought there were 3 complainants because I saw 45,000 on the jailing.
Oh, I see what you're saying, Judge. Yes, ma'am.
And so let me see what we have here. SB9 bond order. See, there's only 3. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Joshua, that means you're just going to get booked on some other counts, okay?
Sir.
Hold on a second. Let's see what this entry shows.
Somebody wrote these. I didn't like that.
Mm. It just makes me wonder if,
Tell me, Judge.
if his bond was ever addressed and on which counts, right? It has JMAG numbers. So
Well, I was going to say, maybe JMAG had a hearing.
maybe JMAG missed 3 counts, 4 counts. Let's see.
I see why, Judge. Can I show you my what I have?
Why don't you tell me? Because I can't.
Mira, Judge. So JMAG, look, I don't know if you can see that paperwork. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, there's only 3 counts on this jail records sheet that I have.
Right. That's what I'm seeing on the jailing. But he's been indicted on 7, right? 7 counts, 6
Yes,
ag
Judge.
assaults, and 1 unlawful carrying.
Correct.
So maybe by the time he got to grand jury or wherever it went, they just added counts.
But he's not really booked on them, right?
You-
He's not, right? He hasn't been booked on the additional counts.
No, Judge.
So how does that happen?
Where are you going to set him at?
All right. So,
I mean,
okay.
he wasn't
And then
booked.
he's at no bond on the DWI with the child.
Sorry, Judge?
And then he's at no bond on the probation case. And he's on straight probation then.
It's on straight. Yeah, it has to be straight.
All right.
I think you should get
Anything
some
else
kind of
on anything else on the bond?
I think you should get some kind of a bond on the DWI and then some kind of a low to, or some kind of a reasonable bond on the remaining counts.
All right, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Judge. So, of course, there are several concerns the state has at this point. First, of course, we know the defendant is currently on probation of this court. As I'm reading the supplements of the new cases, it appears that when these offense was allegedly committed, he was in violation of also the curfew hours of probation. Not only that, but he was also, it is alleged that he was also with a weapon. I'm sorry, Judge?
How was he violating curfew?
What's at early hours of the morning, Judge?
Like what time?
6 a.m.
What's his curfew?
I think it's 9 to 10, no?
Okay. Oh, I noticed that also in the new report.
The cases? Yes, Judge. Of course, there's also the allegation that there was a weapon involved. He's not allowed to be carrying a weapon at this point. So, Judge, I know there's some bonds on 3 cases, right? And that bond is set at what? I'm sorry?
And that's those. So we have 3 bonds at 15,000 cash surety. So now if you're telling me that the counts are vary between a threat, like a strike and a threat, right? That's what you're telling me. I don't know which bonds apply to what. Correct.
So I think we should just put them all at the same 15,000 each count.
What was the how was it presented? Was it presented ag assault, deadly weapon? Let me go see.
Let me check, Judge.
Threat? I mean, was threat first and then the strikes came later, or how did it happen?
I'm reading threat, and that's the other thing, Judge, if I can interrupt. It's so, for instance, one complainant will have threat, then a second complainant will be struck. things like that.
Yeah, but at the time that the jail magistrate set those $15,000 bonds, what was the allegation?
I wasn't privy to that, Judge.
Let me see.
All right.
Striking.
And let me tell you why. Because if there's a distinction, right?
Mhm.
For me, in terms of setting a bond.
Right.
I'm already reading 2 counts that both threatened and struck.
Let me see if I can
But-
dig in a little bit here. Let me see what's at January 3rd. What was the date of offense? January 3rd, right?
No, ma'am. Christmas Day.
January.
Oh, that's right. Christmas Day. You're right. It was Christmas
The,
Day.
the 3rd count is threatened. The 4th is threatened. The 5th is threatened. And the 6th is threatened. And I'll let you all read that 6th count. So
On the 28th, ag assault deadly weapon, they're sending it to SB9. Yeah, that's it.
Can they even, Jose, can your complainants even ID my guy?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know.
You see what I'm asking, right?
Yeah.
Well, the reporting party wasn't the complainants, was it?
I think at least one was at the hospital.
Jasmine.
Let me see.
It's a mess.
Okay, so this.
Why
which
is it such a
very-
mess?
Yeah, no kidding.
Mess.
I'm a little concerned why we didn't have a complete bond set at the SB9 hearing, but okay. Yeah. Yeah, so the strike that was, I don't believe that was part of the initial complaint affidavit. I thought it was threat.
It might not have been, Judge. But
So that tells me then that the additional counts are the strikes. See? Oh no.
but there's only 2. I hate to say the word only, but there's only 2 strikes alleged.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, all right, I think I have it. And then we need a bond on the UCW
That
felon.
last count, yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Did I give you a chance, Mr. Garcia? What did you say? You thought 15,000 was good across the board?
Yes, Judge.
And on the DWI probation case?
Yeah, no bond on at least 2 counts, right? And the UCW.
That one I'm gonna say 50,000, Judge, because he is currently on probation, and of course, this is a violation of probation.
Judge, isn't he? It's a felony. So and your conditions, Judge, are I know what your conditions are. So hasn't he been monitored since 2022? And then this comes up?
He has, because I recall he came back asking he was donating toys, wanted to get credit for community service.
So
if I go back to the report, do you want to talk about the probation case?
I mean, if he's doing well, I think that could color the bond situation. You know what I mean?
So the probation summary on Mr. Theo Carides is as follows.
Bag of salts.
So he's been testing, no positives. I don't know how often he was tested, like drug tested. Reports as instructed, last reported on the 5th, 20 days before the new offense. Last payment was in May. He's in arrears on supervision fees. He was assessed for TAP, nada, completed his classes back in 2022.
Completed classes.
And then he's requesting permission from the court to credit community service hours for Christmas toy donations. So we can throw that in the pot with the allegations of 6 ag assaults and an unlawful carrying. Yeah, how much you think that's going to color it, Mr. Avalar?
That sounds like at least a B+ report card, if not in the A
All
in
right.
the A range.
What else do I have on the bond? Either of you?
What else? Does he have kids? Yeah, he has a 5-year-old son. I'm sure he wants to get home to him.
Is that the child that was in the vehicle when he got the DWI, or is that somebody else? Because on the DWI and the Intox SBI that got dumped, he flipped that vehicle with a kid inside the car.
Good question, Judge. I have no comment.
Yeah, I understand. So let's talk about his PSR.
Okay.
The PSR is 17 pages. Starts in California in 2011, drug, petty theft, burglary, possession, theft, revoked his probation, and I believe he went to prison too. Petty theft, possession of marijuana for sale. Another one, he was carrying a firearm when he was prohibited from doing so. 2014, let's see, doesn't tell me why he was detained there. Theft, grand theft in 2014. Let's see. And then we get here to El Paso, and in 2016, we get unlawful carrying of a weapon with alcohol on premises. So he's on probation for that one. He got 180 days state jail on that one in 2016. And then we get our intox assault, which gets dumped, and we have a DWI with a child. Then in Nevada and Las Vegas, in 2017, we have a DUI. I don't know the outcome of that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the additional, so we need a bond on one more threat. I'm going to leave it the same as the other threat, ag assault cases, 15,000. So that puts us at 60,000 partially. On the 2 counts that involve a strike, each one of those is going to be 50,000 cash surety. So that's 160,000 on cause number 2026 0D00022. Did I do the unlawful carrying?
I thought that included the unlawful, but I'm not sure, Judge.
It does not. So that's another 15,000. That's 175,000 cash surety on 2026 0D00022. On cause number 2020 0D03367, the DWI with a child, I'll set that at $50,000 cash surety. All of those cases will have the conditions that he report once a month in person. He commit no new offenses, have no contact with the co-defendant, Ms. Casares, that he have no contact with any of the complainants, that he not be within 200 yards of the incident, the residence. He was not supposed to be operating a motor vehicle. It's unclear to me if he was operating a motor vehicle. The report says they just saw 2 people get off of that vehicle. I don't know who was driving, because when he reports to probation, he tells them he's not driving, that his girlfriend's driving.
He does have a citation, Judge, from
Oh, yeah?
December 2,
What's the
2025.
Oh, okay. You might want to let probation know that.
Speeding, 80 on a 55.
So that tells you about following rules, Mr. Avalar. So 50,000 conditions of probation, all the conditions are going to cross each other. So for each case, his probation conditions are going to reflect on his bond conditions on the 2026 case, and all the conditions on this 2026 case are also going to be part of his probation.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. All right. Did I miss any bonds?
No, I don't think so, Judge.
All right. So 175 and 50, 225.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Oh, do you have some more, Mr. Avalar? Because I thought you all had a few.
I think I'm straight now, unless
Mr.
Just those two,
Nanez?
Judge.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Thank you, Mr. Avalar.
Thank you.
Judge, on page 18, we have Mr. Rosales for Victor Reyes, Annex Reyes. And Mr. Rosales does have a witness,
Okay,
Maria.
bring them in.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. I saw the request, Mr. Garcia. Just offhand, do you have anything on that request? It's regarding the protective order.
Yes, Judge. So we did
Okay.
speak to the complaint. Oh,
Go
do you want
ahead.
me to- okay. We spoke to the complaining witness, and she confirmed that yes, she does want her grandson, which is the defendant, to return home, and that no, she was not forced to agree to this modification. So we're okay with it.
Incidentally, Judge, before we go too far, I think the PO, the protective order expired 2 days ago. But I kept a hearing just to, I know that you sometimes companion your protective order and bond conditions together. So I thought it'd be prudent to, let you know that the complaining witness is on board. So if we can modify any bond conditions or PR bond, we could do that all together.
So let me check. And again, I apologize because I reviewed so many and I don't want to.
They all sound alike. I
I
thought you were talking about my case.
Well, see, and that's what I want to make sure because I
Yeah.
understand. Let me see.
Kept standing up to go to the restroom and have to run back because it sounded like my case. Hey, Jose, how are you?
Hey, man.
Good.
Well, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Is it this one? The motion to modify?
He's sitting at a table, arguing. Something gets pushed along the table, I think. It's really unclear from the report, but it's a blunt object. In any event,
All right, let me go ahead and call it. This is
Yes,
cause number 2025-0D08367, State of Texas versus Victor Reyes. May I have announcements, please?
Mr. Garcia for state, present and ready.
good afternoon, Your Honor. Mark Rosales on behalf of Mr. Victor Reyes. We are also ready.
And Mr. Reyes is appearing remotely from the jail annex. We are set for a bond hearing and a modification hearing on, I think, a protective order. His bond is $2,500. Is that right?
That's true, and
Yes, Judge.
they cannot make that. Yeah. Well, I
Okay.
thought you were telling me.
So let me hear from you on the bond, Mr. Rosales.
I guess I'll kind of put it all together if you don't mind, Judge.
Yes, sir.
On the bond, Mr. Reyes will be residing with his grandmother Maria Loera de Vasquez at 10661 Vista del Sol, apartment 49 here in El Paso County, Texas. He's resided here the majority of his life. He wasn't, I'm not sure if he was employed at the time, but he's certainly not now, given the amount of time that he's been incarcerated. We had addressed off the record prior to you calling the case, Your Honor, that there's a protective order in place. However, that protective order expired February 1st of this year, 2 days ago. But I mentioned that I kept it before the court, so you would know that obviously that it existed. I'm sure you do. But also too, I'm aware that the court has mirrors the conditions of bond with a protective order, and I think we confirmed off the record that the complaining witness had agreed that she did want the defendant in this case to return to reside with her at that address. I don't believe he's a flight risk. On my end, I only see one criminal charge of a criminal mischief that was dismissed, but of course, Mr. Garcia may have much more than that. I don't know. That's all I see. He currently has been detained since November. He cannot make even the $2,500 bond, so we would ask for any reduction the court is inclined to give.
Can Ms. Lujan, while we're talking about this, and again, I apologize, but can you confirm the expiration on the protective order?
Yes, Judge. Let me look into that.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Rosales, for now?
Uh,
I understood you had some witnesses.
Well, I only had I had the complaining witness in the protective order just in case you wanted to hear from her to confirm it. But obviously, Mr. Garcia already said that he had confirmed it, and so she's just waiting online to be present, Judge, if you need to be called or need any information from her. Excuse
Okay.
me.
You let me know. God bless you. Let me
Yeah.
know if you need her. For now, I'm okay. Mr. Garcia, go ahead.
Yes, Judge. So Mr. Rosales stated he's correct. Mr. Reyes does have a short criminal history of that. He does have a dismissed case in 2024 criminal
So
mischief.
let me just interrupt right there because I have a 33-page rap sheet for Mr. Reyes. And if we start, it starts in Kentucky and Tennessee. I'd put Indiana, but it's not Indiana. I'm sorry, I had put Colorado, but it was county, it was not Colorado. So let me just go over the PSR that I'm showing for Mr. Reyes. And if you know something differently about his living circumstances, Mr. Rosales, let me know, but this is what I'm showing. 2009, Vandenberg County Sheriff. I have a resisting, criminal mischief, criminal trespass. Hold on a second. Let me go back. See if I can find. Yeah. See, IN, that's Indiana, right? Yeah. Okay. And then 2012. Okay, no. Let's move on. The next state is Kentucky. A first degree robbery in 2012. Kentucky. There's jailings, but they just don't detail offenses. So I can't tell if it's like a booking on the robbery or if it's something new. So that's Kentucky. And then Nashville. So then we get to Tennessee. And these are older, 1999 aggravated burglary. 2000, same thing. Evading arrest, 2001. Theft of property, more than 1,000, less than 10,000. Evading. There's a lot of driver's license bookings, like he had an expired driver's license. Then we have a probation violation on that robbery.
Judge, I couldn't tell you one way or the other if that's true because it was impossible for me to ask my client about any of that because none of that shows up in on my side of the portal.
Well, I think you said you thought he was he lifelong here, or
I didn't say lifelong. I thought I said the majority of his life has been here, but I couldn't speak to like his entire life.
So
But he's definitely here now.
2001 theft, again, Nashville, evading arrest, Nashville, guilty. 2005 theft, 2005 drug paraphernalia, again, another driver's license. There wasn't a notation in here that he was homeless. I remember that. Drug paraphernalia, another theft, misdemeanor. 5 days. Hold on a second. 2005. KPS for felony, but it doesn't say what in 2006. And then in 2007, another theft, another burglary. 2007, probation violation. Nashville, it just says trespass in 2007, guilty. Probation violation in 2007. Okay. And then, do you have an ICE hold?
Not that I'm aware of. Can you, I mean,
Is he a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
yes, it was always my impression that he was. I wouldn't know why that's there.
It's so long. There are some entries here regarding some restrictions. And does he have children?
No, ma'am.
Sure is no.
All right. Yeah, I have some concerns about the PSR and what it's picking up.
Ma'am, if I may.
Ask your attorney, and if you are, I'm gonna swear you in.
Okay.
Okay, don't talk about anything about this particular case. If you want to talk about where you lived, you can do that. Okay?
Okay.
Did you want to tell me something or no, Mr. Reyes?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Did I already hear from you, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. So with respect to the, did we get a confirmation? Well, I'm looking up.
Judge.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I did double check the protective order and it did expired on February 1st, 2026.
Okay. So there's no opposition to the modification?
Correct, Judge.
That is granted, Mr. Rosales. I believe you provided the order. It also included her signature, so I'll sign off on that. That is granted. With respect to the bond, however, I am going to deny that request to reduce bond. The bond is going to remain at $1,500.
It's 2,500, Judge. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but you
Oh,
said,
I'm sorry. I wrote
feel
down
free to lower it if you want. I mean, that's fine. I'll take it.
$1,500 cash surety with the conditions to have no offensive contact with the complainant, subject to testing, no new offenses. There you go.
Thank you so much, Judge. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
who's next?
Judge, on page 16, we have Mr. Gutierrez for Robert Guajardo.
Guajardo. Mr. Guajardo, please, from the annex. So we had another
Judge.
gentleman last week, good afternoon. And I thought it was Mr. Guajardo. I was thinking of Mr. Guajardo last week. So Mr. Guajardo picked up an AFB, right? That's what it was.
He did, Judge. He picked up an AFV, and I spoke with Carla Pineda and wanted to see how he was doing on probation. I think you had last seen him like in December, and was actually had gotten a positive assessment that day. And then the AFV, and Jose has the non-pros that we
I do.
I know from reading the misdemeanor that I'm on, Your Honor, that initially there's police arrive and there's nothing going on. It's a verbal dispute.
Let me get on the record, please.
Oh, sorry, Judge.
That's okay. That's okay. Calling cause number 2022-0D04561, State of Texas versus Robert Noe Guajardo. May I have announcements, please?
Jose Garcia for the state, present and ready.
Yes, Your Honor. Louis Gutierrez on behalf of Mr. Guardado.
And Mr. Guajardo is appearing remotely from the jail annex. We are set for a bond hearing. I believe he's at no bond on the probation case due to the rearrest. Mr. Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Yes, Judge. Basically, Mr. Guardado has been doing his counseling. He's on disability. He has a child. There was a verbal dispute that, according to the police, the complainant, who has given a non-pros, Your Honor, claimed that he had struck her. I've looked in the misdemeanor case, and initially there was some recantations. There was a lack of detail by the complaining witness that he had done anything physically. Later on, she's taken aside. I guess the police interview her some more, and supposedly he assaulted her, so he gets arrested. My client suffers from psoriasis, Your Honor. On that night in particular, his hands were I guess, flaring up. He was demanding and asking to please be taken because he had not hit her, and he denied it. And they never took one single picture of him, but he tells me that he had really wanted to defend himself because it didn't happen. And he would have been able to prove it because the psoriasis would have, I guess it's very tender, and it would have cut his hands up, and his hands were not cut up because he hadn't hit anything. I don't know psoriasis that well, but that's what he says. Judge, he'd like an opportunity to defend himself in court. He's still going to counseling. He's about to finish up. I know that he's had his ups and downs on that, and you've had many hearings on it. But he's been in a good place, Judge. I don't know if there's a way to allow him even to pay something towards his probation fees and put him on a PR bond or something, Judge. I'd hate for him to have to pay any money for anything other than, his probation that he's on.
Okay. Anything else? No.
No, not at this time, Judge.
And I do have the probation summary, Mr. Razzo. My memory is consistent in reviewing the summary. We might have had a hiccup around September where they put him on a contract, but he had then, as of December, when we had I think it was December when we had our probation status hearing, más o menos on track, right? So, but then we get the assault family violence. And I remember when I saw he was rearrested and I issued the bench warrant reviewing that case. Let me hear from you, Mr. Garcia.
Yes, Your Honor. So we did speak with the complaining witness on the newly presented misdemeanor case. She did explain to us that she has no concerns for her safety and that she
Did you
does
say
recall
no concern?
no concerns, correct, Judge, that they do have a child together. However, she does state that she is worried about the defendant because she says that he may have some mental health concern or issues, and that he also has a drinking problem, Judge. And she would
Why
like
are we
those.
drinking though?
Was not. No, ma'am. No, Your Honor, wasn't.
But Roberto, don't
Yes,
answer
Judge.
anything right
Again,
now.
I'm only stating what the complaining witness
You
told
know,
us, Judge.
Judge, I mean, I think my client would do anything he can to get out of jail right
Oh, I
now.
know that. That
And-
I know. I did not
And
like
Judge,
this AFV. I did not like it at all. I was very upset when I saw this rearrest. I don't like the circumstances, allegedly.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Judge, is there anything we can do to allow him to get out, possibly get assessed? I don't know. He was going to his counseling classes. I don't know if there's something else we need to do. The complaining witness signs the non-pros, comes to my office, and I don't know what else to say other than initially when the police got there, and I did look for photos or anything that would have corroborated, and nothing was on the portal at this time in the misdemeanor. The case is pending in CC1, Your Honor.
Right, there are no photos or videos or anything uploaded, Judge. Well, there are some. There were some photos uploaded, recent photos uploaded. They don't show any injuries to the face of the complaining witness. Some minor bruising on the hands. Nonetheless, Judge, of course, the concern the state has is the mental health issue and the drinking issue that was brought to the attention of the state by the complaining witness. We understand that Mr. Guajardo is currently on probation, Judge. So we need to address those issues if he's going to continue on probation.
I've worked a lot with Mr. Guajardo.
You have, Judge. And he was coming around, Judge. I don't know what to say other than it's not corroborated. I mean, the way she describes within the affidavit of the family violence assault is like he's pounding on her like multiple times, 6 times or something like that, Judge.
Well,
I don't know if
mhm.
why there's no photos, but he did ask to get his hands photographed, nothing like that. So I guess the real question is, did he do it or did he not?
Mr. Razzle, let me hear a little bit from you. What do you think? You're muted though. So it looks like you're saying something very important.
I think he was saying bond to give him a bond, Your Honor. I'm kidding.
Sorry, Your Honor. I started speaking. Your Honor, there was, if you remember in summertime when Ms. Ramos did a phone check and she had signed some text messages about him purchasing alcohol
Right.
there, and he said that it was for his wife, and you were going to put the monitor on him, and then I think the attorney presented that he couldn't afford it, and so he
Yeah,
kind of
the
held off on
financial
it. But there was some kind of,
Mm-hmm.
the suspicion of all. Then he told me that he was buying alcohol for his wife at that time.
So,
But
yeah.
Judge, can I suggest something possibly? And I know you were talking, Mr. Rosal, but maybe a monitor with, I think there's
But then he
Lifesaver
tells
now.
me he can't pay it. See, here's the thing with
No,
Mr.
but isn't it
Guajardo
free now?
I don't
Isn't there a
know. Well,
contract?
I don't know if it's free or not. I hadn't heard
I
that.
thought we
If
could.
it is,
I
great,
think you
because then
can.
I'm going to start handing out monitors left and right.
Okay, Judge.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem with Mr. Guajardo. It's always something. It's always something,
Judge, I'll tell you, Judge, if the concern is the mental health one, Mr. Garcia cited, but if there's an interlock or a lifesaver and it's going to cost my client, I think he's ready. I think he's been motivated after his recent stay.
Motivation, it doesn't take away, right, what his clearly, I mean, I understand that the financial angle is a concern, right? Because if you read through the complaint on the AFV, that seems to be the stressor there, right? And his
Yes, Your Honor.
inability to deal, if you take that
No, I hear you.
and you know, in the report it says the officer saw redness on her face, you know, and it appears if we're going to deduce anything from the report about what's going on in the home, right? She's providing, right? That's what they say the
Yes.
argument's about. She's doing the odd job. She's trying to get him to work and he can't work, right? And that's the stressor. And he gets upset. And then we have an allegation of an assault. And this is after I have made just about every accommodation I think I care to make on his probation. And then we have something like this, whether she's signing a non-pros or not, and I understand that may mean the case ends up going away. I don't know, but it's not sitting well with me for probation purposes. This drinking, yeah, no, you tell me no for everything, Mr. Guajardo, and everybody kind of tries to help you to where probation's paying for your treatment, all kinds of stuff. How long has he been on probation?
23 of October 23, Your Honor.
That's it?
No,
I thought he was one of the ones that I scooped up when
No,
they were.
no, just recent. That was after the fact.
the 25th of October, Your Honor, of 2023.
The 2022 case. So let's see. So he pled in 2023. Mr.
Yes.
Garcia, what do you want to do?
I think, Judge, we need to, well, regarding the bond hearing, Judge, what's it set at? Or there's no bond because of
No,
the
he's
new
no,
arrears?
he's no bond, and then I guess he probably has 3,000 on the misdemeanor. I don't know if that's up here,
Correct, Your Honor.
but I'm not doing the misdemeanor. What do you want to do on the bond?
Well, Judge, my only concern is, again, he's on probation. The allegations may be fuzzy and maybe confusing, but there is an allegation, there is a new arrest. For those reasons, I believe he's entitled to a bond, maybe at 20,000 cash surety.
Okay. Mr. Garcia? I mean, Mr. Gutierrez?
Judge,
Can't afford anything, right? I mean, I know the money is an issue.
yeah, Judge, I think that if we could just put some skin in the game. I know, Mr. Guardado, I know you've been very tolerant. What I'd ask, Your Honor, is possibly if there needs to be a interlock, a home unit. I know that money is a problem, but I also know he's got family. I know some people are pitching in at this time. And I'd like to see if we could possibly get him a home unit and maybe even get him assessed mental health. And I think you're right. You don't want to hear excuses.
Let me stop you right there so I can ask that, because that was something I wanted to follow up with Mr. Razo.
Yes.
On the mental health end, have we ever identified him as needing to be screened on the mental health end, Mr. Razo?
No, Your Honor. He went to EHN, but he went for like alcohol counseling, Your Honor, back in the day, but not for like mental. Yeah, EHN was able to provide like alcohol counseling for him. He did his alcohol counseling classes back in the day there. But it was not mental health that I remember, Your Honor, that I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
Well, I know we're dealing with depression and things like that, Judge, and I know that maybe him being in a better state of mind might, give him a little bit of motivation as far as taking on jobs and helping the finances. So maybe the mental health could be just go to UBH and get some outpatient or something like that, get assessed, and then put the home unit, Your Honor, to keep them accountable and make sure none of that's happening.
Okay, so we're gonna kind of just like leapfrog a little bit away from the bond. Mr. Garcia, are you opposed to keeping him on probation?
No, not at this point, Judge, no.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. He's gonna give me a little more jail time. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, I mean, he's not working, right? She's the one supporting.
Right. He's got his son at home, but that's it, Judge, yes.
Well, that's who she's taking care of too, right? Well, how is it that he's around his son? Did I allow that?
You did, Judge.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mhm. If I did, I'm sure I explained that it was a privilege, right?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yeah. We're not gonna have that for now. Okay, he's gonna give me an additional 30-day jail commitment, starting today. That privilege of being around his child, rescinded.
I think it was just supervised probation, supervised, I think. It wasn't where he was alone, I don't think. He was allowed to live
Yeah.
with the child, and it was a supervised. I was looking at the terms that were signed, Judge. No contact with CW, allowed supervised contact with biological, may reside with biological son, must be under adult supervision at all times.
And usually his mom's with them. If the wife's not available, it's with his mom.
Rescinded.
And he was living at his mom's prior to that, but it's a restricted address, so that's why they moved to
Address.
the hotel.
Mhm. That's rescinded. The
Rescinded.
access to the child is rescinded.
Your Honor, how about living back with the wife there, or I mean,
He's
right.
gonna have to figure out a place to live.
Exactly, yeah.
He's gonna have to figure out a place to live. They've been living in a hotel.
Mhm.
I think CPS was involved at some point. That was unfounded, if I'm not mistaken.
You're correct, Your Honor. That was back in the
Mhm.
summertime, correct.
But there's some real concerns here. There's some real.
Judge, let me do this, Judge. I know we've got 30 days, Judge. Maybe I can work on this and present something to the court within the next week or so. I can talk with family members. We can try to do something that complies with the new conditions.
Well, he's gonna have to figure it out.
Right.
Because he is also gonna have a monitor upon release. He needs, I mean, if folks are pitching in, and then he needs to have that monitor within 3 days of his release. And it's a portable monitoring unit, Mr. Razo, so that it has daily reporting, and he's gonna test 4 times a day.
4 times, okay, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Your Honor, also remember I had mentioned to you in December that his treatment funding was coming to an end the end of January.
Right.
So he's gonna have to pick up those fees.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there no other grants or anything, Mr. Razzo? Is that what you're saying? It just came out of.
The department helped him for 6 months, from August all the way up to about January. We were paying his sex offender treatment classes.
What does that
And,
run, by the way? Do you?
So they're right now they were 35, now they're $40 per week.
Okay.
$40 per week. So he has to attend, once 4 times a month.
160. Okay.
160 more or less. And
Well,
then
go ahead.
go. I'm not sure. And then if Ms. Regalao needs him to do like a maintenance polygraph, I'm not sure, or that's coming pretty soon to me, in a couple of months too. So that's gonna be like $350. And if he can't pay for it, then she's gonna end up giving him 30 days to do it or not do it. So I just want to put that out there.
Okay. Well, we got a challenge ahead of us. I also know that the county at times, Judge, does have some kind of program with, I think, Lifesaver as far as paying for the interlock.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor, Lifesaver does something like a scale fee, goes on a scale.
So we'll help him look at that. He's gonna be screened for TAP. He's to attend AA meetings once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Once every 2 weeks.
Screen on the mental health end,
Yes, Honor.
the monitor. We're gonna rescind that privilege of him being around his son.
Okay.
We're gonna review him in 90 days. Maybe, I think 90 days. That might be too short in light of his jail commitment, but 90 days. And we'll do that in person. But in terms of his bond hearing, I mean, I know I kind of jumped to the what are we really doing? He'll be released to the streets after he gives me his time. And so that'll give him 30 days, Mr. Guajardo, to figure out how you are going to be compliant with these conditions. He is going to be modified as to now, in the interim, also he is to have no offensive contact now with the complainant and the AFV. That'll be a permanent condition. Also, No offensive contact with her, the wife in the AFE or the partner, whatever.
And just to be clear, for the benefit of my client, that's verbal or physical.
That's right. That's messages. That's anything. No offensive contact.
No, Robert, I'll explain to you. Okay. Okay.
Mr. Razzo, do you have any other questions for me?
No, and I just want to go over real quick. So I'm trying to write down things. So 30-day jail commitment, 3 days after he has to have the in-home unit, and you want 4 tests, you said?
Yes, sir.
4 tests, okay. And then A8, 1 time every 2 weeks? And then rescind the contact with his son?
Yes, sir.
And then be screened for mental health?
Mhm.
And then no offensive contact with the victim by
Right.
text message or verbal?
And we need to make sure we throw some kind of testing in there.
Yes.
You know, I don't think substance use has ever been an issue with Mr. Guajardo, but we need to check. Well, we'll have the monitor on him. Never mind. We'll have the monitor on him. Mhm. You know, at some point, we're probably going to throw in some, I don't know if it's like life skills or family, like parenting classes, something like that before we get
Okay.
back in contact.
Judge, I'm gonna try to see what resources we can get him going. We need to
Sure.
get him going, and hopefully by the time we come back on those 90 days, or 60 days really, you'll see
Mhm.
some kind of positive turnaround.
We need to make sure whatever this lifesaver, you know, like economically friendly option
Uh-huh.
does have the GPS capabilities and the daily reporting. So that's why I usually do the portable unit. It's because it has those capabilities. So as long as it
Okay.
has that, then that's fine by me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
All right. All right. We'll see you in 90
Thank you,
days.
Your Honor.
That will be in person.
Thank you,
Yes,
Judge.
Your Honor.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you, Your Honor.
All right. Who's next?
Judge, on page 17, we have Mr. Vasquez for Luis Pasillas.
This is the one with the probation, the protective order that expires at the end of the month.
Wow.
The one I was getting confused with Mr. Rosales' claim.
Who's the next defendant?
Pasillas? Luis Angel Pasillas, I think you brought him the very.
Yes, he's coming
Don't
right
tell
on.
Mr. Vasquez that they brought your client out the very first one.
I was here, Judge. I was here.
You
I
were
saw-
here and you said no. That was mine. So let's see. Mr. Pasillas. Yeah, he's also at 100,000. All right, calling cause number 2025-0D07404, State of Texas versus Luis Angel Pasillas. May I have announcements?
Jose Garcia for state, present and ready.
And Joseph Vasquez representing Mr. Pasillas, and we're ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Pasillas is appearing remotely from the jail annex. You may proceed, Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client's been in jail since January 22nd. He had a court hearing scheduled knowing that he had warrants pending, and he appeared in court voluntarily. And I think that just goes to show that he's understood his responsibilities and obligations. I had explained to him that not appearing would only complicate his situation, and he did show up, and he's been in custody since. He is on probation, 18 months, that started approximately 13, 14 months ago in county court at law number 2. My records indicate that he has 2 $2,500 bonds on those cases, which would be 5,000 surety. Judge, if he were released, he would reside at 541 Joya, Joya del Valle in Socorro, Texas. He would reside there with Sylvia Hernandez and Jose Hernandez, who are the parents of the complaining witness on the case. He understands the no contact with her, and she understands that, and the parents understand that. He's currently unemployed, but he does believe that he can get a job as a technician at Jiffy Lube. And he also is a sound and light engineer for entertainment, concerts, and type of things like that. He does have one child. However, he doesn't have custody of the child. And again, as the court knows, he is on probation for the DWI. Obviously, the $100,000 bond is impossible for him to make. We're asking the court to take into consideration the $5,000 bonds on the DWI probations. I believe he was abiding with the terms and conditions of probation. And the only violation that resulted in the warrants were the rearrest. He will continue following the terms and conditions of his probations in County Court Law Number 2, and he will also follow whatever conditions Your Honor may set for him. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Pasillas doesn't have a lot of local criminal history. I'm currently trying to load his rap sheet to see if he has any out of state criminal history, Judge. However, we did speak with the complaining witness. She did state to us that she has no concerns as the defendant is now an ex-boyfriend and she should have no contact with him. However, Judge, the facts of the case are a bit alarming. They state that Mr. Pasillas had a butcher kind of type of knife, and that he threatened the complaining witness with that knife throughout the altercation. So now, okay, now I have the rap sheet. He does have a 12-page rap sheet, Your Honor. Most of it, he does have another assault back in 2022. It was dismissed. There's criminal trespass. So he does have some history, Your Honor. Although the complaining witness is not concerned for her safety if Mr. Pasillas is released on bond, I am a bit concerned because the facts are a bit alarming, Your Honor.
So wait, let me understand. So it's his ex that is the complainant, but he's going to live with her parents?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
That's correct, Judge.
Until he can get back on his feet, Judge, but they both understand that he has to have no contact with her. And I've explained to him that, the burden is on him. If she says she's coming, he's got to leave. If she shows up, he's got to run. And he understands that. And he's not going to have any contact with her. But he has talked to the parents and they understand the situation. And obviously, he's going to get back to work and find somewhere else to live. But he will keep that information to probation as soon as he's able.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to grant the request to reduce bond. It is going to be a $25,000 cash surety bond. He is going to have the conditions that he is to have no, well, actually, his protective order is still active.
I believe it is, Judge.
Yeah. Does that prohibit him? What's the address that he wants to live at?
They resided at 399 Flor Bonita in Socorro, Texas, and he'll be residing at the 541 Joya del Valle, and they're not close to each other.
So all of the terms and conditions of the protective order are part of his PR bond. I'm sorry, the conditions attached to his bond. Even after that protective order expires. I saw the protective order, there was an amended protective order, and I'm unclear if, I can't remember if I looked back at this, why they had to do an amended order. I can't remember if JMAG had a concern. But I did review the PSR, I did review his history, and, kind of looks like there's a pattern, but who knows? So, he's going to report once a month. He can do that by phone. I am not going to restrict his residence, although he has to maintain current contact. So as soon as you get on your feet, you get out, you get on your feet, and you move to a new place, you have to report that immediately to supervision. May not leave El Paso County without court permission. He's going to be subject to testing and use no illegal drug or alcohol. I'm not going to impose a curfew. Possess no weapons or ammunition. I think that's it. Anything else?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Who's next?
Judge, on page 20, we have Miss Tavitas for Natalie Woods.
Miss Tavitas?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
I'm a little confused. Are you?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're on your own now, or?
I have opened a firm on behalf of Lozano Mesa in Austin. So I'm in Austin. Yes.
Oh, okay. But you're
They're
not public defenders anymore. That's where I was thrown off. Okay.
right.
All right. So we need Miss Woods, please, annex. And we still have a whole bunch. Thank you, Miss Lujan. All right, calling cause number 2025-0D03142, State of Texas versus Natalie Brianna Woods. May I have announcements, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Jose Garcia for State, present and ready.
Rebecca Tavitas on behalf of Mrs. Woods, ready to proceed, Your Honor.
And Miss Woods is appearing remotely from the jail annex. We are set for a bond hearing. She's at 100,000. She picked up an AFV for resisting. You may proceed, Miss Tavitas.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Woods is 21 years old. She is a U.S. citizen. She is single and has a high school education. She does suffer from depression, insomnia, and bipolar. If she were to be released, Your Honor, she would reside at 10036 Spotted Eagle Drive in El Paso, Texas, 79924. At this time, the only money available her family has to post towards the bond is $100, Your Honor. We are asking the court to consider a significant reduction or pure bond in this case. Any conditions that the court deems appropriate, Ms. Woods is willing to comply with. We are hopeful that if she were to be released, this is a case that could be worked out along with the misdemeanors and a hopeful favorable outcome for her. Your Honor, at this time, we're respectfully requesting to take all of the above into consideration and reduce the bond or grant a PR bond.
Okay, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor, of course. At this point, the state is opposed to a PR bond simply because of the history of the defendant. Although she may not have an extensive history, Judge. The alarming issue is that she picked up the state jail possession back in May 10th. And then 4 months later, or actually 5 months later, she picked up the new cases. That's the reason why the bond is $100,000, Judge. So the state is opposed to a PR. However, the state is not opposed to a bond reduction, Your Honor.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce the bond to $1,500 cash surety with the conditions that, is she being treated for any mental health in the jail? Like, is she on meds or anything like that?
Your Honor, at this time, I wouldn't be able to answer that question. I can look into that, but I'm sure that she would be happy to comply with any conditions that the court imposed in terms of mental health and getting treatment.
Yeah, I don't see that. Okay. Let me take that back. Okay. So the conditions are that she'll be subject to testing, use no illegal drug or alcohol. She may not change her place of residence or leave El Paso County without court permission. She can report once a month by phone. It looks like her trial is coming up. So that's it. That's going to be the bond order. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You may. Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Wood.
you.
Who's
Bye.
next?
Judge, on page 17, we have Mr. Stevens for Samantha Martel.
Okay, this is going to be another one, I think, where we're talking about big picture as much as we're talking about the bond. Have you looked at this one, Mr. Garcia? No, you might
I'm
have
barely looking at it, Judge.
I feel like you looked at it before, like before, like months before.
Maybe,
Ms.
Judge.
Martel? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am. Do I go back a little bit?
I don't know what to do with the camera because, yeah, I'm missing the top of your head. Okay, there you are. I see you. Now you're good. You're good. All right. Calling cause number 2024-0D00093, State of Texas versus Samantha Martel. I believe she has another case. May I have announcements, please?
Jose Garcia from the state, present and ready.
Brent Stevens for Miss Martel. We are ready, Your Honor.
The other case is a misdemeanor case. Sorry, Ms. Guerra, are you on this one?
Yes, Judge. Lucinda Guerra for adult probation.
All right, and we're set for a bond hearing and a probation status hearing. Is her bond at no bond?
It is, Your Honor,
Okay.
on
So
the felony.
I'm happy to hear you on the bond. But frankly, I think Ms. Martell's situation is one where we really, I had to see what you're asking me for. I mean, she was on probation. I know there's a recommendation, to keep her on probation. How is she doing in terms of the mental health, Mr. Stevens?
Judge, she's doing much better. In October, at the recommendation of our social worker, I filed a motion for a competency evaluation.
Mhm.
She was seen by Dr. Rivera,
Mhm.
and at that time, Dr. Rivera felt she was mentally competent. I agreed at that point. I visited with Ms. Martell at the jail more than once, and I reviewed her medical records at the jail. She's taking Buspiron, which is an anti-anxiety medication, and she's communicating very well with me. So I'm hopeful that we can get her released today after we have the bond hearing, and then she'll be able to show the court that she's going to be able to report and do what she's supposed to do.
So the recommendation from probation is that she be relinked to mental health services and to screen her for the Inspire court. I don't know if at the last hearing, I had reviewed the criminal trespass. I have since, and I've, you know. So what do you think, Mr. Garcia?
I don't know, Judge. Let me see.
What other, I'm trying to see what other issues we had. She didn't report July and August. And I think my overall impression from the probation summary was that there's definitely the mental health angle weighs heavily here, but there was definitely quite a bit of circumstances kind of happening between July and when she was evaluated, right? So like the criminal trespass, I think I don't know that I ever reviewed it before. I did see it today, and you know, have you seen it, Mr. Garcia?
I'm trying to load it, Judge. It's thinking.
Yeah. So, you know, I think that had to do with some, I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm just saying she didn't have a place to live.
Well, Judge, and she also has, I believe she still has 5 more years on probation. Or no, I'm sorry, 9 more years on probation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just a matter of, are we going to keep her or are we going to revoke her at this time?
Miss Guerra, Mr. Stevens, maybe I can get both of you to kind of give me some info. Like what kind of, you know, she had issues with, you know, I say issues, you know, it's kind of thing that's always up and down with mom and sister, and sister had her child, and she was, you know, trying to work to get that, but it caused her to not have a place to live and that to struggle in that sense. And so what kind of support does she have now?
Well, Judge, Ms. Martell has told me that if she's released, she has a place to live at 3319 Montana Avenue in a house behind that address.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that she told me has that property is named Johnny Tejada. And I got his phone number from her, and we called him. He did state that she would be welcome to live there. So she does have a place to go to if she's released. I'm not sure if the person that was arrested with her at the time of the criminal trespass will be there or not. His name's Gabriel Rodriguez. I have no contact with that person.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that the main thing she's always told me is she wants to get her daughter back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like one of her highest goals in life is to get her life together so she can show enough responsibility to be able to be a part of her daughter's life. So with that in mind, I do believe the Inspire Court would probably be something that'd be very helpful to her because she would have oversight on a regular basis. And probably, you know, testing and just
How
discipline.
quickly could we get her screened for that? Like I saw today we had their person come in and screen someone that we had in custody this morning in person. I'm obviously very concerned that if I allow her to stay on probation, that the transition is going to be tricky, right? So it's not so much that I want to keep her in custody as much as I want to make sure that if she's released, that we are not gonna lose track of her real quick. I feel like it's that delicate. So how quickly can we get her screened?
Judge, I believe I can, if I notify the Inspire Court, the officers can go visit her in jail.
Oh,
and
really?
screen her. Yes.
Okay. I'm looking at Mr. Garcia and he looks doofus.
No, Judge, yeah, I mean, she has to be screened. I agree.
Judge, I had no issues with Miss Martell, none whatsoever. She reported as instructed. She was always clean. And her goal was to get her daughter back.
Mm-hmm.
And it really fell apart when she had to leave the home.
Okay. So I guess I'm gonna, oh no, we're set for probation status and a bond. Are you asking for a bond? This is what I want to do. I want to bring her back in 2 weeks, court's trial schedule, and get her screened in the interim. If Miss Guerra, what you're telling me is that they can screen her in jail. If we can do that ASAP, that will go a long way on what I think. I feel like I'm going to keep her on probation. I don't want to release her, Mr. Stevens, without something very solid.
Okay, Judge, I will also contact the Inspire Court and ask them to be screening her ASAP. And then if we could come back in 2 weeks, then we'll have information for you.
I'll do my best to do 2 weeks. We are starting a trial. I think that should work. But I'll tell you this, if for whatever reason they tell you, no, we can't do it in jail, or it'll take a month before we can go see her in jail, and I can bring her in person on Thursday, I'll do it. Okay. But I need to know from you all what they tell you. Okay.
Yes, Judge.
All right. So we're
Thank
gonna
you,
continue
Judge.
this for now. Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Okay. I'll say 2 weeks, but I hope to hear from you sooner. All right. Who's next?
Judge, on page 14, we have Ms. Rodriguez for Daniel Blancarte.
There was only like 2 that I did not prep. And one was Mr. Carmona's. Blancart, Mr. Annex, please. All right, calling cause numbers 2025-0D06540 and 2025-0D06356, State of Texas versus Daniel James Blancart. May I have announcements, please?
Jose Garcia for the state, present and ready.
Karina Rodriguez on behalf of Mr. Daniel Blancarte, defense is ready.
And the defendant is appearing remotely from the jail annex. You may proceed on the bond, Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Blancarte is respectfully requesting that this court consider a PR bond on his cases. He currently doesn't have any money to post towards those 2 charges that he has. If released, he's been in custody since September 22nd of last year, and if released, he would be able to reside at 111 K Street in Las Cruces, which is close to where this offense is alleged to have happened. He has lived in Las Cruces area for the past 10 years. He holds a high school diploma. He has 2 daughters. In terms of criminal history, Mr. Blancarte believes he has some history out of California when he was 18. He's unsure as to whether that resulted in a conviction, but other than that, there's nothing else that I can see out of El Paso. He has access to a vehicle. He has access to a phone. I say that to say that he knows the importance of showing up to court, and he has the means to be able to attend court if he's out of custody. And from a socioeconomic perspective, in terms of the nature of the offense, one of them being a fraud, the other one being a burglary of a habitation, these charges arise in the context of financial instability more so than from any violence. And so I would ask the court to consider the nature of the charges as well. And so for those reasons, we are asking the court to consider a PRS to both cases. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor. So the state at this point is opposed to a full PR bond. We did receive a call from the complaining witness this morning, Your Honor, and she is scared of retaliation from the defendant. She fears for her safety. She has concerns about the defendant being released on bond. Your Honor, now I do agree that he doesn't have a whole lot of criminal history. The other pending case is a fraud, identifying info, and this one is a burglary of habitation. Your Honor, but nonetheless, the state does have concerns. We have concern that our complaining witness is concerned, Your Honor. So for those reasons, well, what is the bond at this time?
2,500 on the fraud case, 25,000 on the burglary of habitation.
Well, Judge, I do believe the bond is reasonable as set.
Is it the same complainant?
No, Judge.
No.
No, the identifying fraud is different. It's five, I believe it's 5 or 6 complaining witnesses, and the burglary of half is just one.
All right.
And Your Honor,
Unrelated.
just to expand on the burglary of habitation, there's a co-defendant on that case, Ms. Isela Moreno. Ms. Isela Moreno is the one that is apparently seen on the cameras in front of the home. And it's a little unclear from the report how it is that they tie Mr. Blancarte. Just based on the report, it seems like the law enforcement just kind of looked at surrounding businesses. But in terms of who is alleged to have been on the driveway, or the complaining witness that is now complaining, it seems to have been Ms. Isela Moreno.
So in terms of his history, he does have, like a related history out of California starting in 2013. Well, we have a drug case, and then theft in 2014. Discipline statutes. Vandalism in 2014. Hold on, I thought I saw some thefts in here. 2014, what is this felony? Conspiracy to commit a crime? Where is it? Possession of marijuana. Oh, I thought I saw here. Paraphernalia, 2015. Where is it? Possession of a controlled substance. Possession of a controlled substance. Possession. Are they all possessions? I thought I saw a burglary in here. There it is. 2015 burglary, 2nd degree. Another burglary. Get credits / etc. Use others' ID. So, he has a pattern of these allegations, at least, arrest. In New Mexico, I have an aggravated DWI in 2018, contempt of court in 2021. And then we have our cases. So there is a pattern, a history. On 6540, the request to reduce the bond is respectfully denied. That is not, I believe that 2,500 is reasonable there. On 6356, I'm going to grant your request to reduce that bond. It's going to be a 10,000 cash surety. In each of these cases, he is to have no contact with any of the complainants, commit no new offenses. I'm not sure about this business of him living in Las Cruces. What do you, yeah. And
So, Your Honor, for the fraud one, when he was initially stopped, it was in Anthony, Texas.
Oh,
and it's one of those situations where it's just right on the border there. Is it your condition for him to reside in El Paso?
So how long has he been here?
In custody or in the area?
No, in the area, like
For
not
the
too
past
many
10 years.
right? Okay, yeah, he may reside. He won't be restricted to El Paso County, but he may not change his place of residence without court permission, and he must keep all his info updated. Commit no new offenses subject to testing, may not use any illegal drug or alcohol. Yeah, that's it. Show up for court. Okay. That's it. Who's that? Okay, thank you. Who's next, Mr. Nunez?
Judge, Ms. Rodriguez on page 14 has Jimmy Elizondo.
Okay.
Yeah, we got.
Annex, if we could have Elizondo, please.
Yes, Your Honor, he's coming right out.
Thank you.
We got Marquez. Marquez,
Oh, it's the annex.
see, we got Marquez.
I'm sorry, Judge, we're going on Marquez or Elizondo?
Yeah, we'll get.
Elizondo? Did I say Marquez?
No, Judge said Elizondo.
Elizondo.
Another question. Okay.
Oh, I think the annex is probably just throwing me. I'm sorry.
All right, is that Mr. Elizondo?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Calling cause number 2025-0D0 4830, State of Texas versus Jimmy Joe Elizondo. May I have announcements, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Jose Garcia for the state, present and ready.
Karina Rodriguez on behalf of Mr. Jimmy Elizondo, defense is ready.
And the defendant is appearing remotely from the jail annex. We have a bond hearing. You may proceed, Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Elizondo is respectfully requesting a low nominal bond on his two charges. He's unable to post a bond as is. He's been in custody since July of last year, and if released, he would be able to reside at 8021 Meraz here in El Paso with his mother. He has two children. He used to be able to provide to them financially prior to getting picked up, and attended Del Valle High School. He holds a GED, so he'd be able to look for employment if released on bond, and would have access to a phone and transportation to guarantee his attendance for virtual and in-person hearings for this court. For those reasons, we're asking the court to consider a nominal bond on his two charges. Thank you, Judge.
What were the alleged substances, Mr. Garcia?
It is. Let me see, Judge. It is fentanyl for count 1 and meth for count 2.
Okay, and what's your response on the bond?
Judge, we are opposed to any bond reduction at this time. I know Ms. Rodriguez and I had agreed on a plea. However, we had to revoke this plea agreement. I don't know if you had time to speak with Ms. Linda Estrada to understand the position of the state. However, Judge, because of the facts of the case and its previous history, the state is opposed to any bond reductions at this time.
Anything else, Ms. Rodriguez?
This time, Judge, thank you.
Okay, the court would respectfully deny that request. Thank you very much. Who's next?
Judge, on page 15, Ms. Rodriguez has Trinidad Gonzalez.
What's that?
Trinidad Gonzalez.
Trinidad, okay. Mr. Gonzalez, Ms. Rodriguez is cleanup, both in the morning and the afternoon, Ms. Rodriguez, meaning you had all the end of the dockets?
Tuesday's just a busy day, Judge.
It is, I know. Today's
Yeah.
particular. This morning seemed like it would be slammed. Mr. Rodriguez, I'm sorry, Gonzalez, calling cause number 2025-0D07980, State of Texas versus Trinidad Gonzalez. May I have announcements, please?
Jose Garcia for the state, present and ready.
Karina Rodriguez on behalf of Mr. Trinidad Gonzalez, defense is ready.
And he has a new case, 2026-0D00244. The date of offense on the 2026 indictment predates the date of offense on our 7980. His bond in 7980 is $3,000. In 2026 case, I believe his bond is $5,000. Okay. All right. You may proceed, Ms. Rodriguez.
Judge, and just before I forget, for the newer case ending in 244, we checked on that earlier today, and if we could just place it on the same trial track as the 2025 case. But in terms of the bond arguing, at this time, Mr. Gonzalez is respectfully requesting that the court consider a PR bond. He has no money to post towards the bond. He's been in custody since December 3rd of last year. And if released, he would reside here in El Paso at 8141 Street, Andrew Lane, apartment B. His mother also lives in that address, and I've confirmed that out of El Paso, she doesn't have any criminal history, which I think is a good factor for the court to consider as to who he's going to be spending time around. He works as an auto mechanic. In fact, he holds an associate's degree in that field. He has access to a vehicle and a phone to show up to his court hearings. He's also been diagnosed with anxiety and depression, but Mr. Gonzalez indicates that while he's been in custody, he's been able to receive medication for that. And really, his parents just really need him right now. His mother is the sole financial caretaker in the family. His father received open heart surgery and is unable to work at this time. And so for those reasons, we're asking the court to consider a PR bond or, in the alternative, a low surety bond. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Judge, at this point, the state is, of course, opposed to a PR bond because of the, well, actually, no, the new case is before the
Right, the
date
date
as
of
it,
offense on the
yes.
2026 case is August, and the date of offense on the
December.
2025 case is December.
Right, Judge. He does have a history of drug-related offenses, Your Honor. I see here, starting since back in 2022, there's been possession cases. The recent ones are, again, 2023 possession, got convicted. He did some time at the El Paso County Jail. This new case, two of them are possession related, and the other one's tampering. For those reasons, Judge, we do believe the bonds are reasonable as is.
I also show that he was unsuccessful at some federal probation on drug-related offenses, controlled substance importing, supervised release, prison time, 51 months. His supervision was revoked in 2023. All drug-related. I have a 17-page wrap. The request is respectfully denied. Marissa, on the 2026 case, we do need to track it with the 2025 case. I have a notation to add a trial track to his new case.
Will do, Judge.
We might still need the arraignment and all that, Ms. Rodriguez. So I think it was just indicted on the 27th. Thank you very much. Who's next?
Judge, on page 17, Ms. Rodriguez has Steven Marquez, our last one.
Is it our last one?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Guajardo. I didn't need that one. Okay. How you doing, Walter? I drank too much tea. Mr. Marquez, Stephen Anthony, and he needs a trial track. Some of these are kind of newish. Although he's been in jail for 60 days, maybe not so newish. All right, calling cause number 2025-0D08184, State of Texas versus Stephen Anthony Marquez. May I have announcements, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Jose Garcia for the state, present and ready.
Karina Rodriguez on behalf of Mr. Stephen Marquez, defense is ready.
And for purposes of the record, the defendant is appearing remotely from the jail annex. Bond hearing, I show him at 2,500 cash surety. Ms. Rodriguez, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. That is correct. He has a 2,500 cash surety on the felony. However, at this time, Mr. Marquez is respectfully requesting a lower nominal bond. He's unable to post anything towards that 2,500 cash surety. He's been in custody since December 1st. He's been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and a bipolar disorder. However, since he's been in custody, he's been able to get on medication. Other than the DWI convictions, I don't see any other convictions out of El Paso. Mr. Marquez also has access to public transportation, and he indicates that he owns a bike as well, which he can use to show up to his in-person hearings. He has access to a cell phone to show up for the virtual ones. He's been accepted into the rescue mission. He knows to stay away from the complaining witnesses in the misdemeanor and the felony. He already has services with the EHN as well and can start them back up upon released. About 2 hours ago, I also got the affidavit of non-prosecution from the complaining witness on the felony. I have not been able to send it over to Mr. Garcia for review, but I'd ask the court to take that into account as well. On the final note in setting the bond, I'd ask the court to also consider the fact that Mr. Marquez is already, I believe, on PR on the misdemeanor, so he has that guidance in place. He's also been found indigent upon appointments of our office. I understand the 2,500 is relatively low for a felony, but I'd still ask the court take into account his indigency, as he does not have any money towards his bond whatsoever. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Judge. In this case, we did try to reach out to the complaining witness with no luck. However, from reading the supplements, Judge, it does seem that the bigger picture here, the bigger issue here is a drug addiction that may be the cause of the allegations. It appears that it is alleged that the defendant was requesting money for the purchase of some drugs, and that led to the physical assault that occurred in this case. Your Honor, reviewing his history, it doesn't appear that he has much history other than a DWI, for which he received probation, and aggravated robbery that was dismissed. Nonetheless, Your Honor, again, it appears that there may be a drug concern, and for those reasons, that the state will argue that the bond is reasonable as is, Your Honor.
So I'm going to reduce it to $1,000 cash surety. He is to have no contact with the complainants, either of the complainants in the assault, I think, for the AFE that we have here. He is going to be subject to testing. He's going to report 2 times a month. He can do that by phone. Yeah, he can do that by phone. Commit no new offenses. May not possess any weapons or ammunition. He is to maintain all mental health treatment. Yeah, no illegal drugs or alcohol. And show up to court. Commit no new offenses. That's the order.
Judge, if I may,
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe he'll be able to post that bond, but in the occasion that he is able to post it, could we just add the language for the rescue mission to the order?
Oh, yes. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank
Are we
you.
all
Bye-bye.
done, Mr. Daniels? Thank you, Annex.
Thank you.
Is that everybody?
Yes,
See a lot
ma'am,
of
that's
people. I'm
everything.
not used to having Mr. Elsie. It's an extra box. All right. Thank you, Ms. Lujan. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good one.
Are you calling me?
Yeah, I was just telling you to look at LZ. I was trying to tell you to look at his hair because he had a fan blowing on him. He's got that long hair. I'm like, what is he